Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hope you're all having a wonderful day. We've got EU qualifiers starting today officially. 3 days worth of matches going over Friday, Saturday, Sunday until we get Sunday, which is our top 64 down to our top 16. But before we get into that, I figured we'd let you guys know on what new rosters there are and who you should be paying attention to. So with that, not to waste any time, we're going to jump on over and talk about the new rosters heading into the Major 2 or Split number 2 of the season. Obviously, the teams at the top usually stay the same in these moments, which you can tell. K-Corp and BDS stay the exact same. But the big conversation pieces you guys have talked to and seen me do videos on is Oxygen Esports. This is a team that was just behind Magnifico by 1 point in 6th place overall, and probably making the most impactful change out of everybody. It is going to be Joyo, former Moist, going to be coming over and replacing Ixo. This is kind of the one that I think everyone is hoping going to be the difference maker. Seeing Joyo no longer having to be the best player on his team, him and Oski together is something that I selfishly have wanted to watch and see how that would enact and how that playstyle would go. To be paired with Archie as well, which we've seen what Archie is capable when he first came into the season and into the RLCS. That could be a three-headed monster. I think there's a lot of potential for this team to potentially at least make a good effort or a good fight into the top 4 to go to the Major in London. Should be very exciting. Outside of that, though, we do then have Ixo replacing Joyo on his former Moist roster. If you guys don't know or didn't pay attention to the video last week, Moist is no longer supporting this team, hence the new cheeky name Jobless, because that team no longer has a organization representing them with Oli and Rezi. It is now Ixo. Fruity is also coming in as coach because Noah, with the Moist organization, went over to North America and picked up a team. So Ixo, Oli, and Rezi, and then Fruity, the former Redemption coach, is now making up the team Jobless. So 2/3 Moist with Oxygen and then a Redemption coach. It's a weird amalgamation of players and sources. Vitality staying the same. Gentlemates, who just won the Major, staying the same. Sa also making some changes. We just talked about in yesterday's video how Eclipse is no longer coaching them because he just got the position at TSM. Congrats to Eclipse. Eclipse is a homie. Very happy to see him show those. Mike Boy and Techo sticking together, but Though is out and Rizex of Team 3 is now in. I'm very interested to see how this team plays because I think Techo's does not get enough credit. Techo's is 100% a difference maker. Techo's was up there, in my opinion, as like one of the Stizzies type level of competition that has really turned some heads. Very excited to see this one play out. I like Rizex. I've seen him do some wonderful things on the rosters he's played on in the past, primarily that EG squad, but curious to see on what he does kind of with this next iteration because Sa has proven they can be competitive and can play upset. Up next, we got Top Cougars, Relating Wave, Toxic, and Acro with Gregan as coach. Toxic is now out, and they're bringing in Seamus, who used to play for Endpoint. Then he went to Fast Forward and is now going to be joining the Top Cougars. Seamus, a lot of potential with this kid. I think the right environment, the right structure, which hopefully Gregan can help apply, should allow this team to be successful. I do think it's a step in the right direction, even though I think Toxic is a mechanical freak. So curious to see how it plays out. Very interested to see how that one goes. Up next, we do have Grid Serve Resolve. If you guys don't know the situation about this, Resolve very early on stated that, hey, we are rebuilding around Raziers. We're letting go of Lewis, and Nozaki. We're getting rid of these two. Because of that, what they ended up doing was actually a really smart play for the standings. Because Redemption is keeping 2/3 of their roster. So if you look at Redemption here, they have 16 points. 2/3 of their team, Cash and Ivan, are going to be joining the Resolve team, who isn't even in the top 16. They're not there. They haven't had the placements. So while Resolve is being rebuilt around with Tadpole as the coach still, it's actually the Redemption team kicking out one, bringing in a new. So Cash and Ivan are joining Raziers under the Grid Serve Resolve team, but they are assuming the Redemption points, which surprisingly enough still puts them in 7th place overall. They're tied for 7th. So they are within striking range. They're only 1 place behind. It's a 5-point difference between them and Magnifico, but it's a new split. We'll see how it goes. Very interested to see on Raziers pairing with Cash. I'm actually excited for that combination. Curious to see how it goes. As for Magnifico, we all know that Stizzy got stolen by Dignitas. And now, as a Chronic has been trying to find that team on the outskirts, a Chronic is now in. Based upon my assumption, Taraz is going to be moving to manager, and Expere, who is no longer with Snowman, that was confirmed by Scribbles on Twitter. I assume Expere is going to be coaching with a Chronic coming in, and this is going to become a Luna Galaxy. That is not confirmed. The players are tweeting the whole contract gif, primarily Atomic tweeting that out. But my assumption is Luna Galaxy is going to follow a Chronic and Expere, and that is going to be the new roster. So you got Atomic and a Chronic together. Good luck to casters for the EU scene, but that is what I assume is happening over there. Alongside that, we've also seen a lot of teams disbanding, a lot of teams changing some weirdness to it. We have also seen teams like Scrub Killa, Remco, and Greasy Meister pairing up for some memery with Weedem Girls coming back. I will put teams that make top 16 consistently on this document eventually. But Team 3 does have Rizex leaving like we talked about. And the rumors were that Noah was going to be joining them. So we'll see how that one plays out for the Team 3 roster. They have played upset, very defensive focused. Curious to see if they can provide that consistency. Fast forward, a team that has also done good jobs of consistently making top 16 is no longer having Smokes on the roster, and they are bringing in Toxic, who is the player who got replaced by Seamus over on Top Cougar. So Toxic from Top Cougars is coming over to join Matane and Arju, along with Andy the Mandy. We've also seen Breezy, Growly, and Hibbs announce their new team name. Not exactly sure on what the team name is. I haven't been able to see that. Redemption, like I said, is no more. Don't know where Astral is going specifically. There's been rumors of he was also in consideration for that Dignitas spot between him and Stizzy, from what I've heard. But that ended up not happening. Solary has also made some changes, and there we go. That's where Astral ended up going. There's just so many of these to keep track of. But Astral has basically made what is the old baguette with Chazette, K-Dop, and Astral, even though Astral's Belgium. It is all French speaking and stuff. But to me, this still has a lot of talent. But is it kind of the old guard? Is it at that point where you realize that, you know what, next man up, next iteration of talent, and you have to deal with the realities that, like, it's time to hang it up? We'll see how that one goes. Very, very interested. And then Belago will stay in the exact same. Now, there is obviously some other rosters that are still around here that have been signed up and that are getting signed, but I'm not going to put time and effort into the teams that may not consistently make top 16 because there's already way too many teams that are there. Obviously, we want to keep you guys up to date on, you know, the teams and the players that have been long standing in the scene so you guys can kind of follow their track record. But primarily, I'm going to wait. That's why there's some open spots available. So when the RLCS does have, these will come into play. If you guys want this document or if you want to stay up to date on it, description down below makes it really easy to pay attention to. It is pinned in every single video I do in the description at the very top. Makes it really easy to find. Otherwise, stop by the stream. Twitch.tv/Lawler. You can come hang out with us and all these goofballs in the chat above. But we're happy to have you here. We're happy to have you guys tune in. But if you guys enjoy, as always, like, subscribe, notification. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.